Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will dive into the thrilling twists awaiting us over the next 3 weeks, from August 11th to 29th, where Willow Tate faces a shocking surprise and Drew Kane unleashes chaos on Michael Corinthos, while young Giovanni Joe Palmieri finds himself tangled in legal woes that could shake up Port Charles. Let's kick things off with the high-stakes adventure unfolding far from home. After a tense conversation with Anna Devane, who uses her sharp instincts and years of espionage experience to persuade him, Jason Morgan decides to jet off immediately to the sun-drenched shores of Dalmatia. His destination? The luxurious Five Poppies Resort, a sprawling oasis known for its pristine beaches, hidden coves, and whispers of international intrigue. Jason's mission is fueled by a mix of determination and lingering questions from his past, making this trip more than just a simple getaway. It's a race against time to uncover secrets that have been buried for too long, adding a layer of complexity. We've heard rumors that the resort's opulent villas might hold clues tied to old WSB operations, potentially drawing in unexpected allies or foes along the way. Meanwhile, back in the thick of undercover drama, Jocelyn Jax teams up with the enigmatic Vaughn for a covert operation that demands they pose as a blissfully happy newlywed couple, settling into their lavish suite at the resort, complete with ocean views and romantic amenities like candlelit dinners and private balconies. The pair must navigate the fine line between pretense and genuine emotion. This assignment isn't just about gathering intel. It could awaken dormant feelings for both, perhaps stirring memories of past heartaches for Jocelyn and unresolved tensions for Vaughn, who might reveal a backstory involving lost loves from his shadowy past. Yet, their primary focus remains the mission, handed down by the cunning Jack Brennan, whose orders emphasize stealth and observation above all. Jocelyn, ever the fiery spirit, starts voicing her frustrations about the limitations of this recon-only approach, complaining that they're wasting opportunities to dig deeper into the resort's underbelly, even infiltrating exclusive events or eavesdropping on high-profile guests. If she pushes boundaries and ignores Brennan's stern cautions, the consequences could be dire, ranging from blowing their cover to attracting dangerous attention from rival operatives lurking in the shadows, putting not only the mission but their lives at risk. As Jason touches down and makes his way through the resort's winding paths, lined with exotic flora and echoing with the sounds of distant waves, his resolve hardens. He's utterly convinced that Britt Westburn is hidden somewhere amid the glamour, perhaps in a secluded wing disguised as a wellness retreat. Their eventual reunion promises to be nothing short of explosive, with Jason's stoic demeanor cracking under the weight of rediscovered connections, leading to heartfelt confessions and revelations about what truly happened during Britt's supposed disappearance. In the episodes building up to this climax, viewers might catch glimpses of Jason dodging security or piecing together cryptic messages, adding suspense that keeps us on the edge of our seats. This encounter could reshape alliances back in Port Charles, influencing everything from family dynamics to ongoing investigations. Shifting gears to the home front, Detective Harrison Chase steps into the spotlight with a bold arrest that sends ripples of astonishment through the tight-knit community of Port Charles. The drama centers on Joe Palmieri, whose impulsive decision to break into the esteemed Professor Henry Hank Dalton's residency ostensibly to help his friend Emma Scorpio Drake retrieve something vital, like forgotten research notes or a personal keepsake, lands him in scalding legal trouble. Imagine the scene. Joe, driven by youthful loyalty and a touch of recklessness, sneaks through dimly lit corridors only to trigger alarms and face the consequences. This mishap not only highlights Gio's protective nature, but also exposes vulnerabilities in his budding relationships, perhaps straining ties with mentors who expected better judgment from him. As word spreads, the arrest becomes a catalyst for community uproar, with debates igniting over youth, redemption, and the fine line between heroism and folly. In response, Dante Falconeri and Brooke Lynn Quartermain huddle together, brainstorming clever strategies to extricate Joe from this mess. Their discussions might involve legal loopholes, character witnesses, or even appeals to influential figures in town, showcasing Dante's procedural expertise and Brooke Lynn's resourceful creativity. Joe won't be alone in this fight. He'll receive heartfelt backing from his cousin Rocco Falconeri, who steps up with brotherly encouragement, and Michael Corinthos, whose business acumen could help navigate any financial fallout from legal fees. These support networks add depth to Gio's storyline, illustrating themes of family solidarity and the challenges of growing up in a town rife with drama. where one wrong move can alter futures. Over with Willow Tate. A moment of utter blindsiding awaits when she unexpectedly runs into Drew Kane. In a seemingly innocuous setting, like a quiet coffee shop or during a routine errand. This encounter allows Drew to launch into a persuasive pitch for rekindling their complicated history, perhaps weaving in nostalgic anecdotes from shared moments or promises of a fresh start. Willow, staying true to her principles, firmly rejects him, leading to an emotional debrief with her confidant Elizabeth Baldwin. In this heart-to-heart, Willow might unpack layers of betrayal and self-doubt, revealing how Drew's advances force her to confront unresolved pain from her past relationships. To flesh this out, envision Willow drawing strength from her role as a mother, using it as a shield against Drew's charms, which only heightens the tension. Willow's compassionate side shines through as she carves out time to support Chase, who confides in her about personal struggles weighing heavily on his mind. This could stem from the fallout of Gio's arrest, which places unexpected pressure on Chase's professional duties and his marriage to Brooklyn. Perhaps Chase grapples with divided loyalty folding the law, while empathizing with family ties leading to sleepless nights and strained conversations at home. Willow's listening ear provides a safe space, maybe even offering practical advice drawn from her own experiences with family crises, strengthening their bond and hinting at future collaborations. In navigating Port Charles' endless turmoil, not one to back down, Drew Kane emerges as a cunning manipulator, deliberately stirring up trouble for Michael Corinthos. By leveraging insider knowledge or fabricated dilemmas, Drew might corner Michael into tough choices, such as compromising business deals at ELQ, or facing public scrutiny over personal matters. This antagonism could involve subtle sabotage, like leaking confidential info or rallying allies against Michael, painting Drew as a formidable adversary with a vendetta rooted in jealousy and ambition. The ripple effects might extend to Michael's family life, testing his resilience and forcing him to rally his own supporters in a battle of wits. Elsewhere, Isaiah Gannon seeks out Felicia Scorpio for some much-needed guidance, perhaps on matters of the heart or career crossroads, drawing on Felicia's wealth of life experiences from her adventurous past. This interaction adds a mentorship dynamic, with Felicia offering wisdom laced with humor and hard-earned lessons. Simultaneously, Kai Taylor receives pointed advice from Stella Henry, who remains a staunch advocate for his reunion with Trina Robinson. Stella might encourage Kai to make grand gestures, like planning a surprise outing or writing a heartfelt letter, emphasizing persistence and genuine emotion to win back Trina's trust. Her enthusiasm stems from a belief in second chances, informed by her own romantic history in Port Charles. However, Stella's world is about to be rocked by a devastating shocker, an insurance fraud investigation, initiated by none other than Drew Kane. This probe thrusts her into the spotlight, unraveling threads of her past that she thought were long buried, possibly involving old financial discrepancies or misinterpreted claims. As details emerge, Curtis Ashford gets wind of the situation and pieces together how Drew has betrayed their fragile truce, perhaps through deceptive promises made during a recent confrontation. This realization ignites a fierce resurgence of conflict between Curtis and Drew, with heated exchanges and strategic maneuvers that could escalate into broader family feuds. Curtis, protective of Stella, might enlist Port Charles heavyweights to counter Drew's moves, turning this into a pivotal storyline of loyalty and retribution. Next, we will uncover the explosive developments shaking up Port Charles, including a stunning arrest by Detective Harrison Chase that sends shockwaves through the community and draws in a web of family ties and hidden resentments. Diving right into the heart of the drama. Spoilers for ABC General Hospital highlight how Chase finds himself thrust into a situation that's anything but routine, executing an arrest that explodes like a powder keg across the bustling streets and quiet corners of Port Charles. What starts as just another day on the job for this dedicated detective quickly escalates into a town-wide scandal, forcing residents to question loyalties, motives, and the very fabric of justice in their close-knit world. Imagine Chase, with his trademark sense of duty and a hint of reluctance etched on his face, arriving at the scene amid flashing lights and gathering crowds, his badge gleaming under the afternoon sun as he prepares to make a move that no one saw coming. This isn't merely an enforcement of the law, it's a pivotal event that could unravel long-standing relationships and expose vulnerabilities in even the most steadfast characters, setting the stage for weeks of fallout and introspection. Focusing on the timeline, during the pivotal week of August 11th to 15th, Chase receives direct orders to apprehend an individual he'd rather not see behind bars, someone whose actions, while questionable, stem from a place of misguided good intentions. As a sworn officer committed to safeguarding the innocent and maintaining order, Chase has no room for personal biatch, must act decisively, even if it means clashing with his own moral compass. To add layers to this tension, picture Chase reviewing the evidence late at night in his dimly lit office, surrounded by case files and steaming coffee, weighing the consequences of his actions against the greater good. The arrest could involve dramatic elements like a high-speed pursuit through the winding roads near the harbor or a tense standoff in a familiar local spot, heightening the stakes and drawing bystanders into the fray. This moment underscores Chase's unwavering dedication, but it also hints at internal conflicts that might bubble up in private conversations with trusted allies, revealing a more human side to his stoic exterior. Among the potential suspects who fit this profile of well-meaning lawbreakers are a couple of beloved figures whose predicaments tug at the heartstrings. First up is the spirited Emma Scorpio Drake, whose recent escapades have veered into territory that's clearly against the rules, perhaps driven by a fierce determination to uncover family secrets or protect a loved one from unseen threats. Her youthful energy and clever mind make her a prime candidate, especially if her actions involve sneaking into restricted areas or bending protocols in the name of loyalty. Then there's Willow Tate, whose fragile health and emotional turmoil have led her down paths that blur the lines of legality, all in pursuit of stability for her family or personal healing. Inventing a fresh twist, Willow might have tampered with medical records or sought unauthorized treatments in a desperate bid to manage her condition, adding a poignant layer of sympathy to her potential downfall. These characters embody the show's theme of good hearts clashing with harsh realities, where noble intentions collide with the cold hand of the law, leaving fans to ponder if redemption is possible in the aftermath. Yet, the spotlight seems to shine brightest on young Giovanni Joe Palmieri as the one most likely head, Ed for the Slammer, based on the swirling hints of family involvement and urgent reassurances. In the episodes ahead, it's clear that Joe requires comforting words from his cousin Rocco Falconeri and the influential Michael Corinthos, suggesting a crisis that's deeply personal and far-reaching. To expand on this, envision Joe pacing anxiously in a holding cell, his mind racing with regrets over an impulsive decision that spiraled out of control. While outside, his supporters rally with hushed plans and emotional pep talks. This scenario gains traction especially if Gio's troubles stem from a daring break-in at a high-security lab, motivated by his desire to assist Emma in retrieving crucial evidence, or a sentimental item tied to her heritage, perhaps a hidden journal or experimental data that could change lives. Such an act of bravery, laced with naivety, positions Joe as a tragic hero in the making, highlighting his growth from a newcomer to a key player, entangled in Port Charles' intricate web of alliances. Adding to the emotional depth, Rocco steps in with brotherly assurance, perhaps sharing stories from their shared past to remind Joe of his inner strength and the unbreakable bonds that define their family. Michael, with his savvy business mindset and connections, could promise Joe that powerhouse Sonny Corinthos will step up to tackle the legal hurdles, maybe by enlisting top attorneys or pulling strings in the shadows of the underworld. Inventing a new element here, Sonny might even make a surprise visit to the precinct, his commanding presence intimidating officials and injecting a dose of mobster flair into the proceedings, all while mentoring Joe on the perils of rash choices. If Joe indeed finds himself in legal hot water, the stakes are sky-high. Stands to lose not just his freedom, but his budding dreams, like pursuing music or forging new paths away from his complicated origins, which explains the heavy involvement of his extended circle. This potential arrest pulls in Gio's biological parents, Dante Falconeri and Brooklyn Quartermain, who convene for a frantic emergency meeting to strategize their next moves, as Gio's resentment toward them simmers rooted in feelings of abandonment from being given up for adoption. This crisis could serve as a turning point, fostering unexpected reconciliation through shared adversity. Picture heated discussions in the Quartermain mansion, where old wounds are aired amid tears and tentative hugs, paving the way for healing dialogues that bridge years of silence. Dante, being a fellow detective, is barred from directly handling the case due to clear conflicts of interest, but that doesn't stop him and Brooklyn from operating discreetly behind the scenes. They might gather alibis, consult with legal experts, or even uncover overlooked evidence that could sway the outcome, demonstrating their parental devotion in subtle yet powerful ways. To invent an additional layer, Brooklyn could draw on her music industry contacts to organize a community fundraiser for Gio's defense, turning public opinion in his favor and showcasing her resourcefulness. Finally, the ripple effects of Chase's arrest extend to his personal relationships, particularly straining his bonds with Brooklyn and Dante, who are not only close friends, but now directly impacted by his professional actions. This could lead to awkward confrontations at family gatherings, or tense encounters at the police station, where loyalties are tested and forgiveness hangs in the balance. Moreover, Chase's mother-in-law, the formidable Tracy Quartermain, enters the fray with her sharp tongue and unyielding opinions, perhaps criticizing Chase's by-the-book approach while secretly admiring his integrity. Inventing a fresh dynamic, Tracy might intervene by offering financial backing or wielding her influence to expedite proceedings, all while delivering pointed lectures on family unity that force everyone to confront their roles in Gio's predicament. Next, we will explore the sizzling tensions brewing at Mac Scorpio's upcoming barbecue, where Ava Jerome could make a bold entrance on Cody Bell's arm, sparking jealousy from Molly Lansing Davis and potentially turning the casual gathering into a powder keg of drama. Kicking off with the setup for this explosive event, the August 7th episode featured Felicia Scorpio extending a warm invitation to Cody Bell for her husband Mac's much-anticipated barbecue bash, a lively affair promising grilled delights, backyard games, and the kind of relaxed camaraderie that Port Charles residents crave amid their chaotic lives. Felicia, with her trademark enthusiasm and a twinkle in her eye, approached Cody during a chance encounter at the local park, painting a vivid picture of the event complete with Mac's famous ribs and family-friendly vibes. However, Cody's initial excitement dimmed when he learned that Molly Lansing Davis had also scored an invite, prompting him to politely attempt a decline. This hesitation stems from a recent heated confrontation, where Molly unleashed her frustrations on him, leaving Cody wary of reigniting that firestorm. To add a fresh layer, perhaps Cody recalls the sting of Molly's words during a quiet moment alone, reflecting on how their once cordial dynamic has soured, maybe even jotting down thoughts in a personal journal about navigating Port Charles' intricate social minefields. Unbeknownst to Cody, the root of Molly's dramatic shift in demeanor traces back to her sister Christina Corinthos Davis, whose behind-the-scenes machinations have fueled the discord without Cody's awareness. Christina's influence has amplified Molly's suspicions and resentments, turning what might have been minor irritations into full-blown animosity. Cody senses the chill in the air whenever their paths cross, like during awkward run-ins at Kelly's Diner where Molly's glares could freeze coffee in its tracks. But he remains in the dark about the true puppet master pulling the strings, inventing a new element. Christina might have whispered exaggerated tales of Cody's supposed indiscretions during a private sisterly chat in the Corinthos' living room, complete with dramatic pauses and feigned concern, all to steer Molly's emotions for her own secretive agenda. This lack of insight leaves Cody navigating blind, heightening his reluctance to share space with Molly at an event meant for fun and relaxation. Despite Cody's reservations, Felicia's persistent charm wins out, as she gently but firmly encourages him to reconsider, emphasizing the importance of community bonds and second chances in their tight-knit town. Her persuasion might involve sharing anecdotes from past Scorpio's gatherings, like the time a surprise guest turned a simple cookout into an unforgettable memory, or highlighting how Mac would personally appreciate Cody's presence given their growing friendship. Cody, ever the affable cowboy with a soft spot for genuine pleas, eventually caves and accepts, setting the stage for what could be a recipe for disaster. This push-pull dynamic underscores Felicia's role as a social glue in Port Charles, always aiming to mend fences while unwittingly stirring pots, perhaps even enlisting Mac's subtle nod of approval from across the room to seal the deal. Could the General Hospital writers be deliberately crafting a perfect storm for a soapy catastrophe? Gatherings like this barbecue have a notorious history in the show's lore as hotbeds for revelations, confrontations, and unexpected alliances, often derailing from festive cheer into high-stakes drama under the summer sun. Mac's BBQ, envisioned with picnic tables laden with potato salad, burgers sizzling on the grill, and kids chasing fireflies as dusk falls, might start innocently enough but quickly veer off course. The mere presence of Cody and Molly in the same backyard could ignite underlying tensions, with sideways glances and terse exchanges simmering like coals, ready to flare up at the slightest provocation and overshadow the event's intended light-hearted spirit. Yet, The real fireworks might erupt if Ava Jerome decides to gatecrash the festivities, potentially arriving as Cody's surprise date and escalating the chaos to new heights. Fresh off her frustrations with Rick Lansing, whose recent behaviors have pushed her to the brink perhaps, involving heated arguments over legal matters or personal betrayal, Ava is more than ready to redirect her attentions toward Cody, seeking solace in his rugged appeal. Their steamy encounters by the poolside, filled with flirtatious banter amid splashes and sunset glows, have already kindled a spark, and Ava isn't one to hide her affections. To invent an additional twist, Ava might reminisce about those moments while browsing through old photos on her phone, fueling her determination to pursue this connection publicly and boldly. Ava, with her penchant for mischief and a flair for the dramatic, could relish the opportunity to waltz into the BBQ arm-in-arm with Cody, turning heads and stirring the proverbial pot among the guests. This move would be particularly satisfying if Rick Lansing and Elizabeth Baldwin happened to be on the attendee list, allowing Ava to parade her new romantic interest as a pointed statement of independence. And moving forward, imagine Ava arriving in a stylish sundress, her confidence radiating as she links arms with Cody, whispering teasing comments that make him chuckle nervously while onlookers whisper in hushed tones. Such a display could serve as sweet revenge, showcasing Ava's resilience and her ability to bounce back with style, perhaps even exchanging smug glances with Rick across the lawn to drive the point home. Caught off guard by Ava's bold self-invitation, Cody might feel a surge of surprise when she corners him beforehand, perhaps during a spontaneous meetup at the Metro Court Lounge, pressuring him to escort her as his +1 with persuasive charm and a hint of sultry persuasion, while Cody harbors somewhere in a stemming from the fact that his growing closeness to Ava is largely orchestrated by Christina's elaborate seduction scheme, designed to distract and manipulate. Can't deny a genuine pull toward her multifaceted personality. He's beginning to peel back Ava's layers, discovering depths of vulnerability beneath her tough exterior, like shared stories of past heartbreaks during late-night conversations that reveal her artistic soul and hidden regrets. Adding a creative element, Cody could surprise Ava with a small gesture, such as picking wildflowers en route to the barbecue, symbolizing his budding interest and blending scheme with sincerity. At the core of this entanglement is the need for Cody to maintain the facade Christina has commissioned him for, ensuring Ava remains none the wiser about his ulterior motives tied to her blackmail woes. If Cody appears hesitant to showcase their connection publicly, it could unravel the plan prematurely, so he must play along with conviction, perhaps practicing charming introductions in the mirror to keep up appearances. Christina's strategy has been effective thus far, weaving a web of deception to neutralize threats, but it demands Cody's continued commitment until the blackmail storm fully passes Mabe, involving coded messages or clandestine updates between them to track progress. This high-wire act adds intrigue, as Cody balances feigned romance with emerging real feelings, all while the BBQ looms as a potential turning point. With these elements converging, envision Ava boldly accompanying Cody to Max BBQ, a move that could send Molly's jealousy into overdrive and lead to an unforgettable confrontation. Molly, already on edge from her simmering grudge, might witness their entrance and feel a rush of betrayal, her emotions boiling over into a public outburst amid the scent of barbecue smoke and laughter. ABC General Hospital spoilers tease that Molly's envy is poised to explode soon, so keep watching for any fiery showdowns that could redefine relationships and leave lasting scars in Port Charles. From flirtatious crashes to jealous eruptions, this BBQ is set to sizzle. Stay tuned for more juicy updates.